Alright, hello everyone and welcome to WWE Discussion. I'm your host and WWE enthusiast Doug. In today's episode I'm going to be discussing Monday Night Raw, October 2nd, 2023 edition. In this edition of Raw was the go-home show for Fastlane, and the focus, per usual for Monday Night Raw, was on the Judgment Day, but also Imperium as well. And, Judgment Day, Imperium, and their key opponents. Tommaso Ciampa and Gunther competed in the main event for the Intercontinental Championship. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. It was announced that those two will be challenging Priest and Balor for the tag titles at Fastlane. Rhea Ripley made her return and gave Mysterio an ultimatum, either win back the North American Championship or don't come back at all. Drew McIntyre made his own statement on the factions rivals, the Judgment Day. He refused to help any of them after they failed to help him, continuing a slow turn to the dark side for Drew McIntyre and possibly setting up a feud with Cody Rhodes. And with that, we're going to get right into the action, starting with Drew McIntyre himself, who, once he does become a villain, he could be Raw's top bad guy, move over Gunther. So the transformation of McIntyre has nearly reached its conclusion. He's working more like a bad guy than he has in some time. His promo on Raw focused on his frustration with other superstars who have let him down time and again. Well, on this episode of Raw, he was working against The Miz. That just seemed to solidify his desire to be alone. While he has been in conflict with the New Day recently, he has grander ambitions, and he has missed no opportunity to take subtle shots at Cody Rhodes that could build to a feud between the two. And if McIntyre was the feud of Rhodes and able to leave that feud as a credible title contender, that could segue him into a feud with Rollins over the world title. So WWE hasn't had a strong solo bad guy throughout 2023. The Judgment Day as a faction dominates, but individually they don't do so well. Even Roman Reigns relies on the bloodline. Shinsuke Nakamura, he's been impressive recently, but after that loss to Rollins at Payback, he's kind of lost some steam, and with a likely second loss coming at Fastlane, that's kind of put that might just stop the momentum altogether. And if that happens, I think there's an opening for McIntyre to take over and be the most dominant bad guy on the Red brand by next week. Again, move over Gunther. Gunther does great work, but McIntyre might just take his spot. Dominic Mysterio, is there a chance he leaves the Judgment Day? To answer that question, I don't think he does. Now, to make the argument that he shouldn't, So Judgment Day controls Raw, that we know. There's dissension among the group, still a thing. Balor wants to bring in JD McDonough. Priest still doesn't trust him. Perhaps more importantly, Rhea Ripley is not pleased with Dominic Mysterio, who lost the NXT North American title. If Mommy is committed to her words, Dirty Dom could be out of the stable if he can't defeat Drake Williams in a rematch on NXT. However, it would be a mistake to boot Mysterio at the Judgment Day. Outside of Ripley, he's the most important member of the group for its long-term prospects. Balor and Priest, with the group, without the group, they'll be just fine, but Mysterio might struggle on his own. He has gained significant heat working with Ripley, and that hasn't looked like it's run its course. For the sake of the Judgment Day, hopefully Ripley's threat is not something she plans to follow through on, since Mysterio is unlikely to beat Drake Williams for the title. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. Yes, they are teaming and challenging for the tag team titles, but don't expect this to be a permanent thing going forward. Think of this as a one and done sort of thing for these two. And while Rhodes and Uso have been on the opposite side of the ring multiple times, they've never teamed together. Both of them have tag team history that should guarantee they work well together, but neither needs to be in a tag team at this stage in their careers. They have joined forces in the common goal to take down the Judgment Day, and the tag title match could well steal the show at Fastlane. However, both men should be solo acts. Rhodes is still best serving, building his reputation before another possible title match against Roman Reigns, while Jay is still trying to prove what he can do on his own without his brother Jimmy. They will put on a good match, but then Rhodes and Uso must return to singles action. The future is brighter for both men on their own than together. Tommaso Ciampa and J Gargano, DIY reunited to close out the show. So Gunther versus Ciampa looked like it was going to steal the show at Fastlane, but WWE decided to call an audible and make it the main event of Raw, a lengthy and exciting main event at that. This was not the first time these two have fought one-on-one. The Ciampa was a different man in NXT than he is on the main roster. Luckily, the Blackheart returned for this match, and now he has J Gargano back at his side as well. The Heart and Soul, the Black and Gold brand, both are much valuable to WWE at their best, rather than playing bit roles in the mid card. Now, whether Ciampa and Gargano focus on the tag team division or build each other up as solo acts, there's no denying that they make each other better and they work together pretty good. In conclusion, this week's show only had a couple of matches that are worth the time to watch if you didn't see the show live, but the non-wrestling segments did a decent job building up Fastlane. Gunther vs. Ciampa was match of the night, but Alpha Academy vs. Kaiser and Vinci would be number 2. Imperium had a good night overall, especially since Gunther retained his title. The segment of Nakamura and Rollins stood out above the rest due to Nakamura's great timing. As a whole, this week's show is down the middle, but that tends to be how a lot of go-home shows are before a premium live event. And with that will conclude this episode of WWE Discussion. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit that like button down below.